All right, fellas, let's do another Q&A. It's been a little while. So let's just jump straight into it. King Bishi says, hey, Van, just curious, what do you do for cardiovascular health, better blood flow, and how do you work it in with strength training or train for strength? Man, so I don't really do anything for cardiovascular health specifically at all. I train basically, I want to say like 14 hours a week. Which sounds insane when you think about it. 14 hours a week I spend training. So 7 days a week, obviously, and I don't know, at least an hour a day. The only time I train for an hour is when I get up at 4:30 in the morning for the day shifts. Most of the time I'm training an hour and a half, so maybe not 14. Let's just say 10 hours a week. That's a lot of training. So in terms of cardiovascular health, I know it's not, endurance training, it's not running a marathon, it's not jogging, it's not riding a bike. I still feel like there's a whole lot of blood flow. If you compare somebody that trains 3 days a week, let's say 6 hours a week, I get a lot of training. I'm very, very active. When I'm not training and I'm not working, you can see behind me, like, trying to do the backyard. There's a whole bunch of plants. When we bought the house, everything was overgrown. It's like a bush out here, man. So every chance I get, I get out here and I dig and I pull weeds out and I rip trees out and whatever. So I'm very active. Does that fit into cardiovascular health? I'm not sure. But, when I think of cardiovascular health, I think about like what the Heart Association recommends for movement, or brisk walk a couple of times a week, that kind of thing. So in terms of cardiovascular health for health reasons, I think I'm plenty active enough. My heart rate, my rest rate gets up and about every single day when I'm training. And if you've seen my videos, you know that I don't have a lot of breaks in between sets until I get to the working sets or I get to some really, really heavy stuff. So basically from the bar all the way to whatever weight, it's usually just plate, do, that kind of stuff. So I move fairly quickly. So I don't do any kind of traditional cardio, but, I think it's enough. I had thought about this in the past and, I come from basketball background, man. Like when I was a kid, man, all I did was run. That's why I was always a scrawny little kid. I was like 70 kilos, man, 75 kilos, I reckon I was when I properly started training with weights, 75 kilos. Now I'm like almost 100 kilos. Obviously with that comes body fat, with that comes not everything is performance, I wish it was all muscle, it's not. With that also, like, I don't know, as we age, it feels like you just kind of carry more fat. I don't know why that is, because I'm fairly pretty active, whether it's stress, night duty, who knows, but my past is cardio. That's all I did. Basketball was just freaking cardio. So when I stopped playing basketball, I really wanted to focus on getting muscle mass. And so I'm not saying that cardio is detrimental to muscle mass, because you definitely see a lot of guys, like if you're from Australia, you watch AFL, Australian rules football. A lot of these guys they're basically jacked and they run like 20 Ks a game, man. So it's definitely possible, but it's a challenge fitting it into a squat everyday program. In recent times, I've been thinking about throwing in some sort of, cardio, something. I don't know. I might get to it. I don't know. I think for health, I'm fairly, fit, but I'm not fit enough to go play basketball like I used to, or ride a bike or something like that. Hopefully that answers your question, man. That's kind of where I stand with this. Fats are funny comments on that question. Says he's a nurse, he gets plenty of cardio. Well, that's another thing, man. Like my job is pretty active, man. Like all day on your feet, all day walking. So I'm not a stationary, kind of guy for a living. Rebuild 93 says, hey Van, so I'm dealing with front knee sharp pain. Not too sure if you had similar pain. If so, what has helped? Never had knee pain, man. Never. When I first started squatting every day, like in this run, there was a time where I had like a clicking. Was it the left or the right knee? My knee just started clicking. Completely pain-free clicking. It was like, it started off with like a little click and then it developed like a proper click almost like a thud, really. You feel the quad kind of bounce around when it would hit. Once again, I cleared that up with you know, hip work. I started stretching my adductors, started hitting the abductors, all of a sudden it went away. So I feel like knees are very, very basic, man. Knees are the simplest joint you can think of. It's a hinge. It's like an elbow. It just does this. So if an elbow starts, you know, causing you trouble, you have to look at above it and below it. So with the knee, you know, a lot of times we have poor ankle mobility, or we have really tight gastrocnemius soleus, or we have an imbalance between that and the tibialis anterior, or the one area which I would look straight away, it's hamstring to quad kind of balance. And a lot of that I feel like is dictated by the hips. You know, where's your hips sitting? Like, are you spilling water forward or backwards? Anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt. Like, if you start looking at that, you might get away from that pain. That's just kind of what comes to mind straight away. I've never dealt with it. One good resource, as everyone would say, knees over toes guy, his story is that he had a lot of knee pain playing basketball. And so he went on this, you know, journey by himself to kind of dig up information and read stuff. And not only did he get rid of his pain, but he ended up improving his athleticism. He can dunk now, all that sort of stuff. So that's one area to kind of look at. Squatting University is another really good page for you to kind of look at. But I would look up above and below the knee. That's where usually the trouble is, because the knee is just freaking, it's a hinge joint. Nothing much can go, unless you've had, you know, a meniscal tear or like an ACL injury or something like that. But it sounds like you just are kind of like overusing, or you've developed a weakness somewhere, which you need to uncover. King Bishi, this is from the previous question about the cardio. King Bishi replies to Fatsa Funny. He says, I know his profession, but cardiovascular health has various types for optimal health. Walking, as a nurse does, in my opinion, is the bare minimum that people should be doing, and we tend to glamorize it when people say they've walked 10,000 steps, simply because most people don't. I just want to know if he's supplementing lifting with anything that improves his aerobic capacity, which in turn helps him push more, or at least maintain a close enough level of muscular endurance as when he used to play basketball, which I would think would help, of course. Yeah, definitely, man. Like, the fitter you are, the better. There's no doubt about it. Even if you look at like the West Side boys, like they spoke highly of GPP. GPP is this like concept, general physical preparedness, is this idea that you're just more resilient to fatigue, and you can't get enough of that. You know, the more resilient you are, the better it is. My thing is, it's like, okay, if you're training 3 days a week and you're sitting on your ass for the rest of the time, that's not enough. The way I think about it is, I'm basically training. I would say it's closer to 14 hours a week than 10. That's a lot of activity, man. I'm moving around a lot. Could I run a race? Could I get on a bike? I probably can't. And probably I could make some more time. It's just, with this program, it's very extreme. And, you know, if I was to kind of go for a run again, that's some more time away from the family and work and whatever. So I've kind of maximized the strength. And I think as I'm chasing that strength, I'm also keeping fit. At least cardiovascularly, I'm like, basically, let me explain to you like this. I never go through a day where my heart rate doesn't hit 140, 150 when I'm training. I would say, because a lot of the time I'm breathless. I'm breathless when I'm training. So you can't really be breathless in your heart rate to be 60. It doesn't work like that. The reason your rest rate increases is because there's a demand on the system to get oxygen in. And so to get oxygen around the body, your heart rate needs to go up. It's cardiovascular health, or cardiovascular is like pulmonary, cardiopulmonary. They're kind of linked, the lungs and the heart. That's kind of what I think about it. I am no endurance athlete, but I feel like I'm getting enough work done, probably even too much, some say. Shahirsao, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. How much time do you spend a week on making your videos? And based on that time, do you think the amount of money you receive is worth it? I know money isn't your motivation for making these videos, but I was just wondering how you're compensated for the time you spent on us. So, man, I'll tell you, I will explain to you like this, man. It's lower than minimum wage. If I was business minded, if I was doing this for money, I would have stopped a long time ago. So I just said I spend basically 2 hours a day training, probably another, let's say, half an hour to 20 minutes driving back and forth to the gym. Let's just say 3 hours. That's probably a very, very understated thing. Let's say 3 hours it takes me to prepare a video like this. So I'm leaving like basically 40 minutes to do the editing and the voiceover, which is usually not the case. I usually much longer. Usually it's like an hour, maybe sometimes probably an hour. Let's just say an hour is what I take to edit one of these videos. This video not so much because it's just a one take. There's nothing else going on. But so let's say 3 hours. 3 times 7 days in a week, 3 hours every day. 21 hours I'll do just on preparing these videos, training and preparing these videos. 21 hours just for this thing to happen. And as you guys know, I spend a lot of time communicating with you guys. That's my like biggest priority. I like the YouTube comments. I like seeing what everyone has to say, brainstorming, learning, back and forth. I love that stuff. I wish I had more time to do that. That's something that I didn't think about when I started a YouTube channel. First of all, I never thought anybody was going to watch. I thought it was just going to be a library for Ivan to upload his stuff. And for 3-4 years down the track, I can see where I've come from. That's all I kind of had in mind. But when people started commenting and paying attention, and I started kind of developing these relationships with these people, and some people would have their own channels, and I'll be like, oh, that's what you're doing, that's what I'm doing. I started like loving the community that was forming. So as you guys know, I spend a lot of time on that. How much time do I spend on that? It depends. Like if I'm working a 12-hour shift, probably not much. But on days off, man, on days off throughout the day, I would say I spend, let's be really, really conservative, probably 2 hours. Now that sounds crazy to have a 2 hour block. I don't do it that way. So in the morning, like when I'm having my breakfast or when I'm watching the TV or whatever in the morning, I'd spend like 30 minutes, or 20 minutes doing a couple of comments. Then when I have a free moment, whenever during the day or in my lunch break, if there's no one around to talk to, like if it's whatever's happening, whenever I have a free time, I get on the comments. So let's say I spend 2 hours on that a day. There's days where I spend way more. There's days where I spend way less. But let's say 2 hours. So 3 plus 2, 3 hours to make the videos, 2 for the community type thing. So 5 hours. 5 times 7. 35. 35 hours a week. That's a lot, isn't it, man? 35 hours a week, that's way less than minimum wage. As you guys know, I don't know whether you guys know, so what YouTube pays is, a lot of people think, oh man, you got 100,000 subscribers, you must live in a villa. I mean, clearly you can see it's not a villa. You must live in a villa and drive Ferraris. That's kind of like the first thought people have when they first realize how many subscribers I have. I get paid between $3 and $5 every 1,000 views that I get. That's what I get. I know there's content creators out there who make content on, I don't know, finance type content. Apparently they get like 10 to 15, $20 per 1,000 views. That's a lot of money. But I get $3 to $5. So let's say $5. Best case scenario, $5. My daily videos get around 10,000 views, sometimes less, sometimes more. So let's say that's $50 a day. $50 a day times 7, $350 a week for 35 hours of work. Obviously that's every single video that I do, so it kind of adds up a little bit. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. I know there's a lot of people out there who are telling me, Ivan, you need to monetize the channel more, you need to sell more merchandise, you need to push it right in front of people's faces, you need to do this, you need to do that. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. That's not me. I've never liked the idea of chasing money. That's not how I am. My compass works. I don't like to chase money in life. That's a big repellent to me. As crazy as that sounds, I feel like if you are doing that, you're chasing the wrong thing in life, and you're mentality about life is different. And I would say wrong. The things to chase in life, I feel like I love, connection with people, helping somebody out. That's where you get the joy. Like giving is where the joy is. It's not money, man. Like if you get a Ferrari and you roll past a group of people, they're like, wow, that's a nice Ferrari. Would that feel good to you? I don't know. Maybe there's people out there who'd be like, yeah, that feels really good. For me, like, I like sharing. I want those people to like drive the Ferrari and be like, man, this is a really cool car. Like if my mates, if I had a Ferrari, my mates would kind of jump on. We would kind of like that. The Ferrari would be an enhancer of our relationship. It wouldn't be like, oh, look what I have, you don't have that. I don't like that feeling. Anyway, I'm getting off track. But basically, I spend 40 hours a week. It's probably 40 hours a week that I spend on this. I get $3 per 1,000 views. How many views a week do I get? Let's say 70,000 views a week, something like that. Let's just say it goes up and down all the time, whatever. Like it's highly volatile. I've had some videos where that have done really well, but the baseline is around 10,000 views. So you can look back and you can see what I get. $3. It's usually $3. It's not $5, but that's the range they say. $3 to $5. My channel average has been. So what's that? 50. Let's say $700 a week, if I'm doing my maths right. Is it something like that? It's not even that. I don't even get that. No way. I think the last month I earned. I wish I could go on the app. I'm recording on my phone. I think last month I earned. I think it was $1,000. So $250 a week. 40 hours a week. I never started this for money. I am nowhere near doing this channel for money. A lot of people have offered themselves to sponsor me. I've said no because I don't agree with their message. I don't agree with that whole idea of I am a vessel for their product. I don't like that, man. I like having the freedom to do whatever I want. I don't want to be dictated by anybody else. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question. It's a lot of freaking hours, but this is a hobby for me. This is really fun for me. It's an escape. I have a nice career. I'm a nurse. I'm a senior nurse in ED. I'm not a millionaire, but it's a nice salary. I'm okay. I have a nice house, nice family. I'm very happy. So I don't have this lust for money. I never have. A lot of people are kind of afraid to talk about the money side. I'll never have been. I really don't care. Nothing in my life is extravagant or anything like that. But anyway, hopefully that answers your question, dude. Sam Krug says, hey, yo, Ivan, do you have any contingency plans for a scenario in which you are physically unable to squat, i.e. broken leg, severe illness, or death? Oh, man. Contingency plan. Unable to squat, broken leg, severe illness, death. Well, I guess if any of these things happen, the squat everyday thing ends, I guess. I could probably do like a assisted pistol squat if I broken one leg. Severe illness, knock on wood, there's no severe illness and death, obviously, hopefully doesn't happen anytime soon. But one day this is gonna end. Like I think about it kind of, not every day, but I think about it like one day I'm gonna be like, oh, screw it, I don't want to do it today, or something will happen and I'll miss a day and whatever, man. I don't mind. I'll probably start the whole thing again. Knowing me, I'll probably do that because I just enjoy training every day. Lady Finger says, hey Van, I'm constantly inspired by your thoughts and the way you systematically go through everything. Have you ever thought of uploading the audio form from your videos to Spotify? It would make awesome short podcasts without any extra effort, I think. I know there will be a few guys that could be, I've had thanks, man. Happy editing, happy lifting, happy editing, happy lifting. A few guys have mentioned this Spotify idea to me. I never kind of looked into it because I feel like it's more of the same, and it would probably need more time for me every day. Like sometimes it takes a little while for the thing to upload. Like tonight, I'll have 2 videos to upload. This video and the squat every day video. So, and sometimes it takes a little while, man. For whatever reason, like I had decent internet, I think, but sometimes it takes a long time. So if I had to upload to Spotify as well, I don't know how long that will take. I just never looked into it. It's just, I'm so busy, man. Like all this time that I spend looking at these ideas, like when I was looking into Discord and whatever, it took away from the comments. And for me, comments are everything. Like I want to talk to you guys. I want to learn from you guys. I just want to sit down and have a beer with and talk about this stuff. Basically, that's kind of, so I'm always being pulled towards that. So anytime I have to do something else, like, oh, I need to do this, oh God, I don't want to do that. I'd rather, like, if I'm going to do this YouTube thing, I want to do the comments and talk to you guys. Where am I? Marinus D. Jagger says, hey Van, have you ever experimented with breath work, or do you have any specific thoughts on it? I've always thought it's a lot of nonsense, but recently I've tried deep recovery breathing after a hard session. My recovery has gotten a lot better. Seems like a way to tell the CNS that the workout is over and so it starts recovering. I've never looked into this, man. Like I've is it Wim Hof? I remember looking into him a while back when one of you guys mentioned it. You know, he spoke about cold showers, deep breathing, all that stuff. I've never actually actively done the breathing bit. I've always done the cold showers. Haven't done those in a couple of months ever since we've been sick with the kids and whatever, so I've kind of stayed away from that. Even though they say cold showers are good for that, I just feel like, I don't know, it hasn't kind of been my experience. The last thing you want to do is pour cold water when you're surrounded by sickness. That's kind of how it feels. But I've never done the breath work, but it sounds interesting, man. Maybe it's something to look into. 21 minutes, not too bad. I reckon this is it. I haven't got any more questions. Hopefully that was good, guys. I don't know when the last video was, probably 2 weeks ago now. But whenever I get a chance and whenever I see there's questions building up, I jump on and make these videos. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.